but maybe that's coming back. Just all those things. I'm still breathless, and I sleep poorly at times. So they're all things that Firmagon can do to you.
Yeah.
And I think overwhelmingly, I guess the biggest one is I was having kind of like rigors, or I'd have sweats or whatever all over the place, as I went into menopause, because that's what I think Firmagon does. It throws you into male menopause. So that lasted probably 18 months, but that's gone now. But I still, at times, do feel quite unwell and get the shivers even though I'm running a temperature, But as I say, I'm alive and I'm happy to pay that price. And I don't want to swap to something new while I know it's working.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Firmagon.
Yeah.
The chemotherapy was just standard chemotherapy, just what you get with chemotherapy. I didn't really have any side effects from the chemotherapy. I used to have chemotherapy and come home and exercise madly, like swim or run or do anything I could, because I believed that would distribute it more evenly around the body. But I don't think the chemo really knocked me. I lost my eyebrows and my hair and stuff like that. But, and I still have limited feeling in my toes, but my hands are good.
Okay. All right. So my next question asks you to describe or define the terms mild side effects and severe side effects. So we'll start with mild side effects. These might be things that you feel you can cope with. How would you define the term mild side effects?
How would I define mild side effects?
Yeah.
Mild side effects would be just stuff that kind of you're there, you're aware is there, and it gets in the way a little bit, but really doesn't slow you down. That would be a mild side effect, where a major side effect would be one that you're quite aware is there and can probably impinge on your day-to-day functioning, at least in the short term. That's the difference. Now, you need to know which is which out of all the ones I've told you about, or are you happy?
No, that's okay. Just like a sort of general definition from you.
And so all the stuff, maybe the major side effect might. I don't see any of them as major side effects, because they're transient. They last for a couple of days, and I'm not well and I'm cooked. But I still don't think that a major side effect for me would be if you're dragging yourself around and pissing blood for a week, and you weren't that functional. So I don't really have any major side effects.
Yeah.
They're unpleasant. They're not good. But in the way I balance it out, they're not bad either.
Okay. And when you try a new medication or treatment to manage your condition, how long do you stick with it before you give up on it if you don't think it is working?
Well, I've never given up on anything, because I stuck with the chemotherapy and became neutropenic, but I stuck it. I was neutropenic, and then so Ted reduced the chemo dose the second or third time, and I went back for more, and it was fine. The Firmagon, you get these other stuff. I've never given up on anything. I do whatever I'm told to the time, religiously. I haven't abandoned anything yet.
Okay. And then when you are using a treatment, what needs to improve for you to feel like the treatment has worked? So that might be the side effects you notice changing, or it might be, blood test results, anything like that.
Well, I know I know the treatment's working if my PSA and my alkaline phosphatase and anything else that's a bit out of whack is fairly good. So I guess I'm personally running off the way I feel, which I feel good, and I'm running off the way the pathology shows So I get a copy of every pathology that comes out, and I look at it, and then I put it away. I don't live on it, but PSA means a lot to me. If the PSA is good and I feel good, well, obviously I'm doing all right.
And if a treatment did reduce your side effects, what would that mean to you in your everyday life?
If I could get the same outcome with less side effects, is that what you mean?
Yeah. If a treatment, reduced a specific side effect you're having, or if you could have the same outcome with less side effects, what would that mean for you?
Well, Ted's offered me a different injection, which he says, put it in your buttocks once a month, and it should have the same effect. But I'm not prepared to swap horses.
Yeah.
It would, if it was as good as he said, I probably wouldn't get this horrible feeling every 28 days and have to inject myself and, feel lousy and all of that. But look, I know it's working, so I'm not going to change it. I don't know that I'm afraid or I'm not adventurous enough, but it's working. Let's keep it like it is.
Yeah.
And if the day comes when I can't, there are some days I think, oh God, is all this worth it? It feels horrible, but then I feel better again in 24 hours, and it's worth it. I'm back on track.
Okay, and if a treatment was available and you could have it at home or at hospital, which would you prefer?
It wouldn't matter to me because I'm only 7 minutes from the hospital.
Okay.
So it's no consequence. What is it if the consequence was that if I felt like I wasn't doing as well here in Taree and I wanted to go back to Sydney, there'd be a big toss-up there because going to Sydney is a bit of a commitment. It's 5 hours each way, and I don't know. My friend Graham, who was going, he was on different clinical trials, and it became very onerous for him at times because he didn't have a life around it. He'd travel down there, he'd be vomiting all the way and vomiting on the way back. And while he was still alive, there was no quality in it, So I don't know. It would have to be something I'd have to, consider at the time. If this is going to keep me alive and still let me go fishing and live normally, I guess I would I'd go to Melbourne or I'd go to Sydney. But at the moment, I don't need to, so I haven't really considered it.
Okay.
A hospital or home, is of no consequence. I guess I'd be thinking as a nurse or an ex-nurse that treatments they provided in the hospital would be more complex, so maybe they were slightly better than me just taking a tablet at home. But I'm quite able to take tablets at home and even inject myself if I needed to.
Yeah. And if you were having a treatment at home, what kind of support would you need to ease any anxieties or uncertainties you might have?
I don't know. What support I would need? I would need to be able to exercise.
Yeah.
That's what I would need to do.
And have you used any complementary therapies?
Well, only what I've told you. Nothing except what I've told you, with the turmeric and bulk turmeric and, the black pepper. And I also drink a teaspoon or half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper a day. I don't know where I read all these things, but, these are what I would call complementary therapies, but they're not stuff that people are marketing. They're stuff I just buy off the shelf.
Yeah. And, so no, remedial massage or anything like that?
No, I actually used to go to massage before all of this because I'd had back pain for a long time, but he was a bit too alternate for me, and I just stopped going. I think he thought that maybe I could do this and cure myself and I should walk bare feet in the grass and do things, and he gave me a machine which would harness some sound waves or some bloody thing, and I just thought it was so much hocus pocus. I don't need therapy, I don't need massage.
Okay. Can you tell me what type of information you've sought out since your diagnosis. So what kind of information you've had access to and where that's come from.